Good evening, everyone. So let's start with the basic understanding of what stress is. The word stress itself originates from the Latin word strictus, which tighten or to narrow. So it itself denotes the feeling of constriction of muscles and tightness as reported by the person who is under stress. But did you know that there are two types of stress? There is eustress and there is distress. Eustress is the positive type of stress that motivates us, that pushes us, that helps us achieve our goals. It's the good type of stress. However, when this stress turns into the state of burnout, starts taking toll on our mental, physical, emotional, psychological, and even social health or well-being, then we term it as distress. Understand stress, we also need to have a closer look at the characteristics of the environment that may be surrounding the individual. We need to first identify the stressors. Stressors are the events that cause our body to give the stress risk. The positive type of stress is good to experience and grow. However, like I said, when it starts taking toll on your health and well-being, it turns into the negative type of stress.
And stress.
Anxiety itself is a feeling of vague and intense fear, and coping is a situation specific response to stress. Individual needs to reflect on the things that they like, what makes them feel grounded, what makes them feel calm, relaxed, and at peace. We can take up grounding practices, start connecting with our nature. The elements of our nature are of great help. You can take a long path, go out for a walk, connect with uh, different creatures around us, animals, pets, even butterflies. It helps us to elevate our stress and bring in positive vibrations. So you can also engage in relaxing activities. And what's more important is we need to switch off our devices for some short time.
So, ma'am, we all will agree the pandemic has certainly developed a sense of detachment between our close ones. So, how can one develop and maintain our emotional health, especially in the current situation?
See, Kirtika, when the outbreak occurred, we all were unaware, we were unsure of what was happening. Flights got suspended, lockdown was announced, people lost their jobs. There was a tumultuous time regarding career and opportunities. Some of us lost our loved ones. It was a very deeply disturbing time, especially the physical distancing part. Human beings are social creatures. We thrive on social connections. We live for social bonds. Man cannot exist in uh, solitude. There are many ways to maintain our emotional health and to stay connected with our loved ones. Spend some quality time with them. Dedicate a time in your routine that you would like to check upon your loved ones. Make sure that time is free of distractions. Many a times we are also listening, but in our mind we're already creating the response. So when you are listening, when you are spending time with someone, listen to actually listen. Listen to actually understand them. Pay attention to body language, paralanguage, gestures, facial tones, voice, tone, pitch. All these things help us understand them better, and they help us to sustain better relationships. So one has to be a good listener. Inculcate the skill of active listening. Apart from that, we can also use words of appreciation. Not just words, not just with words. We have to also follow it up with actions. Show them that they are someone whom you value in your life.
Right, ma'am. So, ma'am, you mentioned that there are two types of stress, eustress and distress. So, when distress takes a toll, how does one still maintain productivity?
Yes, distress can leave a person feeling uh, hopeless, lonely, and without a sense of purpose. Especially when it's challenging on day-to-day routine and takes a toll on our physical well-being as well, not just mental well-being. How we perceive a stressful situation also determines our stress response. Stress can leave us in a state of lethargy or even burnout if it is continued. To combat that, individual can take some remedial measures. So, number one, if you're feeling tired, first you have to allow yourself to rest. Many a times we are caught up in the daily routine. There are so many tasks, so many things that we have to get done. Life is running and running, and we are chasing it. So remind yourself, take a breather, and tell yourself that it's okay to take a break. Allow yourself to take a break. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by everything that's happening, and sometimes we might delay the rest that we so desperately require. Even if you're emotionally tired, allow yourself to take a break. Take a 5 minute breather. Take a moment. However, if you cannot even find time to rest for a bit or take a moment or take a breather, then I would suggest you change your routine. Schedule also, we can schedule some time in a day to dedicate uh, some time to our self-care activities. Now, self-care has different meanings in different contexts, but generally it means that person is looking out for herself or himself. So maybe it is 10 minutes in a day or 15 minutes in a day. Do something that makes you feel happy, makes you feel calm. Change your routine a little bit.
So a student mentions that he or she has to study a lot, and due to this, he or she is unable to play or work out, which makes him or her angry. So, how does one cope with this problem and try to maintain this balance?
Right. Sometimes we feel burnt out because we are doing too much. But I have a different take on it. I believe we feel burned out not because we are doing too much, but because we are doing too less of what makes us happy, what makes us content. We tend to put a lot on our plate. We need to get this done, we need to get this done. At the end, the individual resorts to procrastination, and ultimately, it can lead to discomfort. So, what we can start with, We can start with prioritizing our tasks. Be selective in what you want to engage in. And once you select that, make sure that you are consciously aware of what you're doing. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, you can spruce up your routine, change it up a little bit, maybe talk to some new people. And once once we get into the habit of doing it all by ourselves, being so independent, it gets really complex when we want to ask for help. So, if there is a possibility to delegate some tasks, one must use that option. Not everything has to be done, not all the weight has to be carried by you on your shoulders. Share, ask others for help, have some trusted people around you who can listen to you, who can help you out. Share with them.
Um, Ma'am, so how can one exactly be 100% in the moment or devote their attention to being in the moment completely?
This comes, in order to do this, it has its basis in the practice of focusing on your breath. So, simply by focusing on your breath for a few minutes, simply inhale, exhale, let go. You have to focus on any particular thought. Problem arises when we hold on to some thoughts. See, your thoughts are not you, they are only a part of you. So, in order to be 100% in the moment, in the present, in the here and now, we must allow ourselves to detach. Thoughts are coming, let them go. Whichever thought you want to focus on, it's yours. You consciously choose that thought. And even if you're not able to do that, simply remind yourself that it's temporary. Focus on your breath work. Figure out what makes you feel calm. Try to engage in that activity. Like, we say, all work and no play makes Jack.
A dull boy.
Absolutely. So it's okay to rest. Remind yourself that it's okay to rest. If you don't feel like doing anything, take a breather. Start small, baby steps.
So, ma'am, many a times in stressful situations, one usually gets irritated or aggressive on small topics or issues. So, how can one control that?
Okay, that's a really nice question. In the heat of the moment, sometimes we engage in some reactions that we regret later. So, if one can practice this, if one can, in that particular moment, one is feeling angry. Simply ask yourself, will it matter in the next 5 years? Will this be of any significance in future? Because you know what anger is. Anger only hurts the one who's holding on to it. The longer you hold on to it, the more it hurts. So let go. Ultimately it's going to be okay. And I also believe that anger is one of the most complex things ever, because anger itself seems quite easy to understand. Okay, this person got angry because of this person's reaction. But what we need to understand is we need to dig a little deeper. There are so many hidden layers of emotions underneath. So, another exercise that one can engage in is asking the question, why though? So, when you're angry at a situation, ask yourself, why? Then you get a statement, get a reply from your own self. And then, if you would like to introspect further, ask yourself again, why? Why am I feeling this? What is the basis of this issue? What is which is actually disturbing me, right? And there's also another technique, just to calm yourself down in the heat of the moment. You can practice counting backwards from 10 to 1 and simply Focus on your breath. Inhale, exhale, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So, ma'am, the next question is that, especially in young teenagers, hormonal shifts can lead to significant changes in mood, which might affect others. So, how can one manage them?
Okay, say I'm not a medical professional, not a medical doctor, but there are certain tips that I can share for an overall to maintain well-being of an individual. So, in order to do that, just be sure that these are steps that will help you get better over a period of time. Nothing is happening all of a sudden here. So these changes have to be gradual, not sudden. So start with babies. We all know we have to start waking up early in the morning. So if a person gets into the habit of waking up late, maybe they can set their alarm for half an hour earlier than that. Yeah, and after a week, they can maybe change that. Like I said, the changes have to be gradual, not sudden, in order to maintain and sustain a long-lasting healthy habit. So, for example, if you're eating out a lot, eating a lot of junk food, maybe let's say twice or thrice in a week, you can try to ask or reflect on this ourselves. Is this really helping me? Most of the time, it is not what seems. The surface is on the surface. It feels like these are the issues and these are what things I need to do in order to change this. However, when you dig deeper, there are so many emotions attached to it you might not be aware of. So ask yourself, why am I doing this?
So, ma'am, COVID has brought with itself many unfortunate and unpleasant phases of life for many people and families. So, how can overcome them and move on?
See, Kritika, all these unpleasant feelings, uh, not being able to spend time with one's family, detachment from social bonds. These feelings are very discomforting and we immediately want to get rid of them. We want to get away from it. The harsh truth is that in order to change, one needs to accept. Change can only come from a place of acceptance and understanding. It's ironical. So once you accept that, okay, once you acknowledge that, okay, these are things that are making me feel this type of way, or these are the things that I'm upset about. Acknowledge those feelings. Don't sweep them under the rug. It's only going to build up further to a state of tension. So be aware of those feelings. Say it's okay. It's okay to feel whichever way you feel. Your emotions, your feelings are valid. However you feel that way. It's okay. Another thing that you can do is just remind yourself to stay with a positive memory. Just keep some positive memories, some happy thoughts in a safe parking lot in the headspace of your mind. Yeah. So whenever you feel yourself getting overwhelmed by negative thoughts, intrusive thoughts, or you feel like this is getting away from me, I can't take this any longer, take a breather, step back for a moment, take out that happy memory from the parking lot, drive it around, go for a walk, spend some time with it. Whenever you feel ready, come back. And again, I would like to reiterate, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay. The bad experiences itself make up for who you are today. The bad experiences cannot be eliminated completely because they're a part of you. They are what make
They are what
you
make
you.
you
So
you. So,
accept it. Accept it. It's okay. It's okay. Things happen. But it's in our conscious. It's our conscious choice. It's our conscious choice. What we choose to next. Next. Also, there's one. Cathartic exercise that I would like to share with you. This is one of my favorite exercises. So what you need to do for this is to dip a pencil and write down the negative thoughts on a piece of paper. Just write down. Pour it. Just write down. Pour it. Whatever comes to your mind, write it down. And then sit with it. Read it. And then later, what you're gonna do? You're gonna take a pen and then slowly, each and every line, you're gonna scratch out. And scratch that negative thought completely, renounce those lies, tell yourself that this is not true, and then write the statement in a positive sense. This would help the individual feel much better and lighter. And added bonus, you can also burn that paper up.
Ma'am, so a student has asked that what if we tell someone what we actually think about someone or something, and what should we do if what we told them was hurting? Example, if I tell my friend what I actually feel about them, what should we do?
See, Kirtika, first of all, this comes from a place where we feel that we need to always maintain positive relationships with everyone. Many a times, the society that we are in, the pop culture that we indulge in, that we view, and that we very much keep close to our hearts, it shows us depictions of uh, some scenarios which are not entirely true. So, relationships might not always end in happily ever after, whether they are friendships, whether they are other types of relationships, and it's okay. It's okay to tell yourself people grow out of relationships, people develop, and sometimes they also move on. So it's important to remind yourself that you are a unique, beautiful being, and you deserve love, you deserve praise, and you are valued as a human being. And it's okay if something is not serving you. It's okay to withdraw from it, but in a positive sense, not in a negative sense. Like, not ghost the people. Just tell them, be upfront and tell them that this is not working out. I need to take some time, or I need some space.
Ma'am, so the next question is that how can one create a stress-free zone at their home?
One of my favorite topics. So, especially during this time where we are doing most of the things online, we're not going to schools, we're not going physically to our jobs and places of occupation and work. It might get a little complicated to separate your personal space from your workspace. So, in order to create a stress free zone, and this might be physical or entirely made up, it's up to the individual's choice. So, we can first start with creating a safe space, a place where you can acknowledge your emotions, where you can address your emotions, where you will not be disturbed. Now, again, I'm reiterating this space can be mental or physical. It can be totally imaginary, or it may be a physical location where you like to uh, stay and you feel calm. One can do this by finding a spot or a location. Next week, always remember to keep a glass of water next to you. You can add a touch of your favorite fragrance to liven up the place or the area. Start by taking care of yourself. Practice some self-care routine, some self-care activities. Spend some time doing the things that you really enjoy, the things you relish, the things that make you feel alive, also which are fun to do. Allow yourself to feel the emotions, feel them. It's okay to feel whatever you are feeling. Validate your own emotions. If you feel like crying, cry your heart out. Feel like laughing, laugh. Even if there's no one beside you, laugh. Set Another important point is to set healthy boundaries, not just with our friends and our co-workers, but also in other social relationships. Set healthy boundaries. Let people know that this is what is okay for you, and this is where you draw the line. And be assertive about it. Set healthy boundaries. Let people not barge in your comfort zone. You need to stand and take charge in order to maintain your well-being. So surround yourself with people who bring out the best in you, who bring out your happiest, your healthiest, your whole self. Surround yourself with people. When you are with them, you feel alive, you feel content, you feel in the moment. And another important thing is we need to let go of the toxic positivity. Everywhere, most of the times on social media, I see posts which are, encouraging uh, staying in a positive mind all the time. This is physically impossible. It's impossible. Nobody can stay positive all the time. Life is a journey, has its ups and downs, and it might cost a ride for some, but that is what makes life uh, so rich in its experience. It's okay to feel both ways. Just allow yourself to be okay with whatever you're feeling, whatever emotions you're experiencing.
That's the end, ma'am. Thank you so much. It has indeed been a very enlightening session today. We appreciate you being here with us to share insights on stress and clear many thought provoking questions for our students.
One
I
second, Geetika. 1 second. Before we end the session, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but before we end the session, can I share a little joke here?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. So there's this person who's rushing in to catch a flight, and he sees that there's a long queue. So with a lot of privilege, he walks in, stands in front of the line, cuts everybody out, and demands that he must be given his boarding pass. So the flight, the female who's at the counter, she's checking everybody in. She looks at him and politely asks him to step back and wait for his turn. So this individual gets very angry and he says, "Do you even know who I am?" So the girl is astonished and she looks up at him and then slowly picks up the microphone and then makes up the announcement that there is this person standing on aisle number so and so, and he seems a bit lost. He's unable to identify himself. So if you can help him, find him here. So it's okay to feel angry, but make sure that you're not hurting anyone. Also, these feelings are temporary. Please continue.
Thank you, ma'am, for that joke as well. I would also like to thank our technical team for facilitating the live stream and handling it with such finesse. Last but not the least, I would like to conclude by thanking all the viewers present here today to make this event a great success. Thank you and have a great day ahead.